Back at you again, talking music, talking DJ culture. Got my guys Doug to the left. I got Tony Tone to the ultra left. And we are here to talk about the scene. All DJs, all love music and DJ culture. But locally, I want to ask you guys, locally, how do you see our scene, Doug? And I guess we'll get to Tone because he's new here locally, and you can kind of give us your perspective, Tone. But what's up with the local scene, Doug, in general?
So I have conflicting feelings about the local scene. From a personal standpoint, the local scene is very pop oriented. It tends to be, which is, I think, par for the course in most major cities across the U.S. When I've gone to Chicago, when I've gone to New York, unless it's for a special event, when I'm going to Atlanta, because I've been to these places in the last, I'd say, about year and a half. Unless it's for a special event, it's the same kind of thing, even and especially here in Phoenix. And I think Phoenix being on the West Coast, although a lot of the music is made in Los Angeles, it has to hit in New York first and then head west to kind of spread out. It doesn't do the opposite, in my opinion. And as a DJ of African American descent, I think when I walk into venues, and this has been over the last few years, when I walked into venues and said, hey, I'd like to play in your place, I think the first thing they think is, oh, that's a pop DJ.
Ah.
And I am not that.
Sure.
I am not interested.
When you say pop, you don't mean pop music. You mean like...
No, I mean pop music.
Why would they assume that as an African-American DJ?
Because we dominate pop music for the most part. Outside of the Taylor Swifts, and maybe the Jonas Brothers, we tend to so the little guys, the little Yachties, the little babies, Da Babies, Lil Waynes and stuff like that.
Again, so that's what you're considering pop music?
Yes,
I think it's got to be considered pop. That was a rude awakening for me. When I had my big residency at Tonic, I was playing Top 40, which was Pop 40, which was predominantly hip hop. You know, like the hits. Okay. The hits were pop hits. They're on the radio all the time. And I'm not a deep hip hop DJ, but if I got the stuff I had in my crate, if I'm playing it for a wide audience, white folks, black folks in a suburban area, that shit's got to be pop because it ain't deep.
Right.
Okay.
So this is what I found. Like I remember maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I walked into a place and I'm bringing my casket of with my controller in it, and I walked past the black dude and he was like, "Oh, we got a DJ in here. We going to hear some real music."
Right.
And
you disappointed the hell out of that
sure
dude.
did.
I think he profiled you. It's a black dude. The music about to be real good.
Yes, I absolutely. I got profiled and I'm disappointed. So like that was a double negative.
Oh, man.
So what I found is, even some places. There's been some places. There's a hotel downtown. I won't say the name because I don't want to plug them necessarily. It's an eclectic hotel. Okay. They have artwork that they hang in the waiting area.
Yeah.
The way their bathrooms are designed is very artistic like. And I remember calling them a few years ago, or trying to call a person who handles this stuff, and they never called me back. They would never call me back. If I walk into a place, I think as a black DJ, they go, "Oh, you gonna play like Lil Wayne, Lil Baby?" And I'm like, no, like that's the last thing on my, like, I don't want that. I really don't want that on my computer. Nothing. Listen, let me say, because I know we also live in a time, we also live in a space, in a society that says, whenever you knock something, you're a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not. That's cool. The thing is, I don't like it, but that doesn't make me a hater. What I'm saying is, it doesn't reach me. Just like if I played a Donna Summer tune at a Lil Baby concert, if I played the theme from The Deep, which is a dope song by Donna Summer. Right? Yes, I went to the C side. Yes, I know. I didn't go to the B side. I went to the C side for
double
the theme
album.
from The Deep.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not going to go over well with that crowd. That doesn't make them a hater. It just doesn't reach them. Right? So like that doesn't reach me. So I don't play that stuff. And what was funny was I set up my stuff at this particular venue when the dude was like, "Oh, we got a real DJ coming in." One of the first things that happened was I had a dude who said he was from Miami and was like, "We don't play this in Miami." Well, first of all, you're not in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in Phoenix. Secondly, and his response to me was, "I'm paying for you to be here." False. Because whether or not you came tonight, I was going to get paid because I was filling in for someone else. All right. The other thing was I had someone walk up to me and say, "Hey, can you play something new?" And I was like, "Have you ever heard this tune?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, it's new to you." The thing is,
Quick-witted, Doug. Don't even come up to
the thing
his
is, it's
booth.
new, and it came out. I think it came out like 2 years before this particular person walked up to me. So I'm like, it's fairly new. Just because you haven't heard it doesn't mean it's not new.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that and this isn't against the norm. Like when you go to places, they play the stuff that everybody likes to sing along to. I am not that kind of DJ.
Let me ask you this
Yes, sir.
because we talked about pop stuff, but how do you find the landscape out here as it pertains to maybe underground music or more eclectic music? Like, is there a scene, quote unquote, or just opportunities you got to find and fit in?
So here's what I would say. Man, it's easy but yet difficult for me to say this. If a white DJ walks into a place in particular, so Scottsdale, and for those of you that don't know, Scottsdale is kind of the foo-foo la-la. Lots of theoretically money people go to Scottsdale and kind of go for entertainment and food and eating, and sometimes they have DJs in those places.
Yeah, it's the upscale.
Correct.
Yeah.
Palm
Region. In the Phoenix area.
what is it? Not Palm Valley. What's the other? There's the other places in kind of south of that. But
Paradise Valley?
Paradise Valley. That's what I'm talking about. That's old. That's old money. That's old money. Scottsdale's new money. But if you walk into a venue in Scottsdale, and let's say I walked in and a white DJ was playing someone like Cleo Soul, people would think, "Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, no, this is new. This is great." But if I walk in playing Cleo Soul, what's wrong? Where's the baby?
You gonna jump off into a whole
I know.
other topic. I'm gonna wait on that.
I know.
'Cause
Where's
Ooh.
Where's Lil Wayne? Where's the baby? How come he ain't playing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how does he know that these tunes exist? And I'm like, because I listen to an obscene amount of music. During the week, I listen to an obscene amount of music. I do 2 or 3 shows depending on my availability online.
Tell
on
me,
Twitch.
let's stop right there, Doug. So as a part of the local landscape, we have like internet now. We have post-COVID where people can do radio shows, internet shows themselves. What are you doing? Because I want you to tell the audience about your show.
On Monday nights from 6 to 8 local time, Arizona time.
MST.
Because that's the other thing. In Arizona, we don't do daylight savings time, right? So my stuff, I tend to base it on Eastern time zones. So in the spring, summer months, from 9 to 11 on Monday nights, I do my show on Twitch. You
need to give us the call letters, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. But on Wednesdays, I do Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I do like midnight because I start at 9 our time. 9 our time. That means it's 3 hours ahead until daylight savings time is over. Then it starts at 11. But I start at 9 o'clock our time from 9 to 11 p.m. I do like a very slowed down vibes, and I don't always mix tunes. And then on Sunday afternoons, I do 1 to 3 our time. House music mainly. House and disco. So I do that on DJ Peanut 15, DJ Peanut, no, this PNUT 15 on Twitch that I do 2 to 3 times a week. Some weeks I'm like, nah, I can't do it on Sundays or whatever because I have other responsibilities. But suffices to say, when I walk into venues and say, hey, have you guys thought about having a DJ here? And they're like, they're looking at me like, yeah. And to be honest, let me be even further honest. A lot of people think I'm Middle Eastern. I am not. I'm an African American. So once I start talking, they figure out, oh, this is an African American. He must be playing the pop stuff. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I don't have most of that stuff in my repertoire. On my computer, my MP3 files, my FLAC files, I don't have that stuff. I have stuff that I like to hear that I think is dope and you would like to hear, but because I look the way I do, you won't even give me a shot. But if my name was Josh, if my name was Jared, you'd probably be like, we'll give him a little bit more leeway. So when I put on a BD Bell, by the way, do your homework. BD Bell is dope. I put on a Snarky Puppy tune. You're like, where's the baby? But that same cat that Josh or that Jared puts on BD Bell, oh, wow, that's a great tune. It's a great tune. Where can I find this? It's on Spotify.
Oh, man.
So on a positive note, because you about to open up Pandora's box on that one.
I did. You can't close the box.
And I'm gonna I got some hitters on that. But anyway, so Tone, you just got out here relatively recently. You moved from Detroit. Mm-hmm. How did you make that transition? And where are you DJing? Where are you as a DJ now, as opposed to where you were in Detroit?
Here, relatively new to the scene. I've been here like a year and a half, maybe. I've really just been putting in time, going out, meeting people, trying to ingratiate myself in the scene. I know we've spoken off mic, and I find that a lot of people, when they approach a new city or new town as a DJ, especially if you have some clout or status back where you come from, you come to this city like, yeah, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna take this motherfucker over.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tearing everybody up.
Right.
And it does not work like that.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of personality anyway, where I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming to fuck you up, take your shit.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't work, because if somebody has something, they're not gonna let it go.
Sure.
Especially if you're unproven to them.
Right.
So it takes a bit of humbling yourself. I'm a humble person anyway, so that wasn't really too hard for me. And I genuinely do like to go out. I'm a person that loves to hear music live and loud. So, the nightclub is basically where I grew up. I hang out in clubs. I've always loved to be in the club. So doing that and meeting DJs is par for the course for me. So I've been here for a year and a half and made some good acquaintances, some good friends.
How'd you end up in places like, I've seen you at Crescent, Phoenix Valley Bar, the Womack, a few other small joints, some restaurants as well. Mm-hmm. Talk about how you plugged in here, and we can't forget to mention Ken, my God my God Complex.
He was definitely the plug.
Yeah, I was talking to. I'm sorry to cut you. I was talking to Tone earlier. I was like, we're gonna have to put a Mutual of Omaha wild animal net over that dude to get him in here.
Oh, we gonna get him. Yeah, we gonna get him.
Yeah. I was blessed enough to have friends who moved out here from Detroit, yourself included, and Ken. And when I first touched down, I think one of the first things that I did was to go out to see Ken spin.
Okay.
And we're closer now than we were back in Detroit, which is kind of funny. Ken used to work at a record store in Detroit. He was managing the place, and it's a famous story that I love to tell. It was really funny.
Tell it. I haven't heard it yet.
So I'm in the record store and I'm digging, and I have my son with me, and Ken's just playing stuff. You know how you're in the record store, you playing new records or whatever, and he's playing. Damn, I can't think of what record it is. I want to say it was Raekwon, but I'm not sure if it was. But you know, it's laced with expletives and blah blah blah, and I got my young son in there. I'm like.
Expletives and misogyny.
Trying to cover his ears.
That's like what is it? Old School when he was like covering his ears. You ever seen Old School?
Yeah,
he was like, you can say all the words. He was like, you just gotta cover his ears.
Right, right.
Yeah, so he's doing that, and I said something to him. I was like, you know, I got my son in here, and then years later, he didn't get it at the time because he was unmarried. He didn't have any kids yet.
Okay.
And so years later, he actually got it, and it's funny to us now. It's like, I wouldn't have liked anybody to play that kind of thing around my kids either.
That's crazy. So going back to Detroit, and you are a humble cat, and you never want to toot your horn. So with those types of friends that I have, I'm gonna toot it for you. So since you won't state the resume, I'll state some of it. But I want to hone in on.
We're gonna make Tone uncomfortable here, folks.
I'm
already uncomfortable. If you know me, you know that I don't like speaking.
Yeah. So
I'm not just saying speaking about myself. I'm saying speaking.
That being
It's
said,
not my thing.
I love to speak. I'm an attorney. I get paid to speak and talk and enunciate and be passionate.
I like
with my words.
I like people that talk a lot. I'm a good listener.
Yeah. So I'm coming. I'm coming right at you. All right. I grew up in Detroit. I met you in my college years.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. You are a part of Detroit hip hop history. You've been embedded in that. Obviously, we could do a whole show just on Detroit hip hop, which we won't. But just
why not? We got.
Well, you know what? We're gonna have to do that.
Yes.
And we're gonna have house shoes out here in this show. House shoes, you're gonna be in the seat. I guarantee you.
Wait. So I'm familiar with house shoes. He's from Detroit?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
I did not know where he was from.
Oh yeah.
I got one of my brothers loves house shoes, and I've listened to his show on Twitch several times. House shoes don't give a fuck about what fucking thing at all. At all.
Ask shoes how you feel about Trump.
Same way I do. Fuck that motherfucker.
At any rate.
So
I actually interviewed him. I'm gonna put that out too.
Listen, I would love to have house shoes on the show.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Shoes, you heard it right here. You've been requested. But anyway, back to Tone. So, Tone, you got this unique history, and anytime someone's kind of connected to that root or that tree of greatness in some kind of way, I like to mention it because for me, it's a feather in the cap and a source of pride. So you have a specific relationship with Dilla, the great J Dilla, and you were mentioned in a book. Like, see, Tone will do a little blurb, but there's this book. I want you to tell them about the book, and your name is mentioned in the book, and it talks about your relationship with Dilla. And I would like you to explain that, since we don't have a superstar on the show. You were next to the superstar, in those days, in the early days. And so I'm riding your nuts a little bit right now. Pause. I want you to tell a little bit of your Dilla story and your background, man.
Well.
Pause.
Yeah. Well, to really, like you said, it started at when I met you was at Michigan State.
Okay.
Before I was a DJ, I didn't become a DJ until I hit Michigan State. Actually.
I remember, man.
Yeah. My partner, my homeboy.
We're gonna tell that story. We're gonna tell that one later. It's 2023. We were eating nachos together, sitting side by side, because we're boys. Yeah. So the dude comes over and Tone is like,
y'all in the same plate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
a big ass plate.
It was a big ass plate. So we sharing these nachos. He told said, I want to introduce you to my partner, Steve. And we know we mean partner, like my
Yeah,
partner, right?
Right. Partner, not partner.
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 But it
I speak
came
proper,
off
I'm
as
sorry.
partner, and me and Tom, we've been laughing ever since. That's
Oh,
my DJ partner. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But anyway, go ahead.
So back to the story. The DJ that I was closest to when I was growing up was DJ Rowe,
Yeah.
and
What up, bro?
who was very, very unsung in Detroit hip hop history. His name always gets left out. I hate it. I'm not a fan. Anyway, so that's the homie.
He gonna be on the show too.
If we can get him out here.
All right.
Okay, so
You too, Sabotage. Steve
Yeah.
motherfucking Haynes.
Yeah.
With your disappearing ass. I'm talking to you. Sabo. Anyway, sidebar.
Okay. So I used to hang with Ro all the time, go with him to the record stores, be at his crib and he'd be spinning. I'd go to gigs with him, carry records, all that shit. And I used to mess with it a little bit, just throwing on records and blending them together. And it kind of came easy to me a little bit because I'm a drummer, and I think that's why, because I had the background of,
Yeah.
keeping a steady beat.
Yeah.
So, but it was nothing I was trying to do or anything. I thought it was cool. I liked what he did, and I was, content just hanging with him. But back in those days, you had to buy records if you wanted to hear them again, or not just wait for them to come on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, I was buying records all the time because I like music. So when I went to school, I went up there with 2 crates of records. By the time I left Michigan State, I probably had like 12, maybe more.
Okay.
Yeah, I was spending a lot of money on records back then.
But can I ask what influenced you to? Is it like for me? It was my parents. Was it the same thing that influenced
Pretty
you
much.
as far as your music?
Parents, grandparents, uncles.
I see.
I think we touched on this in the past episode, but I could name like all the records that were in my uncle's collection,
Right.
all the records that were in my
Yeah.
grandparents' collection, all the ones in my parents' collection. I just been a record fiend like that, reading all the liner notes and all that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So I go up to college with these 2 crates of records, and
Sometimes that's all you need.
yeah, true. That's all you need to do a party.
Yeah.
And,
Especially if you're sharing the decks with someone
yeah.
else.
And I met Steve and another cat named DJ Head, who's very famous for
That's our
Eminem.
boy. That's our boy.
Yeah, that's the
man.
homie.
Yeah.
And Steve actually brought us up to the radio station that he was spinning on. So Steve is giving me props, but I also got to give him his props back because he's the one who brought us in and put us on.
You were spinning at the radio station?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was there
okay.
before us, and then he left.
Man, it was a hip hop oriented radio show. It was called The Cultural Vibe, and it was the core of it was
So
hip-hop.
wait. You were like the Stretch and Babito of
Yeah.
Michigan State?
They
Yeah.
needed a house DJ to do a house show on there, and I was like, you let me spin house, I'll come on any show. I don't care if it's the country show. I'm down. You let me do a house.
Right.
Country house. That's,
Yeah.
that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I think I got on the show, and things just kind of snowballed from there because I started spinning with DJ Head, in his dorm room, and I just kept buying records, but I never had my own turntables or anything like that.
Okay,
Have
he's
you
good.
ever heard of a group called Lettuce?
No.
Okay. So you said you never had turntables.
Right.
So the thing about Lettuce, apparently, the reason why they're called Lettuce is because they would show
Lettuce.
up to gigs and be like, "Let us use your
Equipment.
your equipment."
Oh, shit.
So they named
Lettuce.
themselves Lettuce. They
Wow.
are an American funk band. They're really good. They're really good.
Mhm.
But I just thought about that when you said you
That's
didn't have
crazy.
That's
turntables.
funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so that's the basis of how I started spinning, and I didn't really, up until we started, like, I won't say I started taking it seriously when we got to the radio station, because it was a little bit before that, but yeah, when I hit college is when it really started for me. It's when I started spinning and thinking that, oh, this is fun. I might want to do something with this. And once I got more into spinning and doing parties, being around people in the hip hop sphere, whatever, I was like, I could do this as a career. I'm going to just graduate and then see where the shit takes me.
So,
And that didn't happen.
It took you where? What did it to Phoenix?
I went to work.
Took you to Phoenix.
I went to work and I DJ'd on the side.
Gotcha.
So in court, when we ask a question and the person doesn't answer the question, we either ask the judge to treat the witness as a hostile witness, or
I'm very hostile.
or we can say we
What was
can
the question
object
again?
to not be the witness is non-responsive.
Yeah, I don't know. What
right.
was the question?
So I
forgot
asked
the
you
question.
specifically
Oh damn.
about your relationship, how the relationship
Oh,
with
Dilla.
Dilla.
Okay,
And
I
I
was
heard
getting there. I
and
was getting there.
I heard of everything but Dilla.
It was quite
Okay,
the
I'm getting
journey.
there. Yeah,
the court
It was a journey.
is requesting that the witness
Oh,
Because-
wow.
answer the motherfucking question. And I can
Wow.
curse. I'm not in court now. This is how I really want to talk in court, motherfucker. That's how I really want to talk in court.
Listen, hey, listen.
I wish I
Crawford,
could talk like that in court.
Listen, Steve, stop. Because one of these judges, one of these judges is hip, or they got like a 14-year-old.
That's
Be
true.
watching
They're
that's
gonna
true.
see it.
Yeah,
We
stop
didn't
it.
say any names.
Bleep.
We didn't say names.
We got to have a bleep button. We go back
No,
and edit.
it
and
doesn't
bleep.
matter. It doesn't matter because that one judge is going to be like, "Oh, I saw your video last night, and I know what you want to say to me."
All right, so let me let
go
me
ahead.
speed this up a little bit. So while I was up in school, there was something started up in school in Michigan State, East Lansing, Michigan, which is what, an hour and a half from Detroit,
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Something
90
like
minutes.
that.
Yep,
Which
yep.
Yeah.
direction, by the way?
East.
It's
North.
East. It's north.
No, it's not north.
It's not north.
East
Rochester
Lansing
Hill,
is. It has to be like Detroit is like as
Detroit is on the
southern.
West
It's
side
east,
of the
man. It's
city.
east. Lansing is east.
the
yeah.
state.
Okay.
Anyway,
Whatever.
Detroit is on the western
Right.
part. of
East
the state.
Lansing is east of Lansing, which is a separate city.
But I think it's east of Detroit too. It's been
Yeah,
a long time.
that
But go
makes
ahead.
sense.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you're
That
wrong.
makes sense.
Anyhow, so while we were at school, there was a hip hop scene developing in Detroit, and as I mentioned, DJ Rowe, and you mentioned Sabotage, they were a part of that. And when I'd come home for summer, I'd go hang with them at that spot, and it was the Rhythm Kitchen is the club that we used to go to.
Yeah, boy.
And the hip hop shop is the venue that
Yeah.
was a clothing store, open like 5, 6, 7 days a week, something
Yeah.
like that.
The vintage is it like a vintage clothing store.
No,
Type?
it was selling Maurice Malone gear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maurice
Okay.
Malone is the proprietor of the hip hop shop
Gotcha.
and behind the Rhythm Kitchen, the godfather, in my opinion.
He'd be the FUBU man of Detroit. If we,
Okay. I got you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Who also doesn't get enough
I was
props.
thinking about Dapper Dan. I think of New York.
No,
Okay.
totally different. Yeah, but I feel you.
I feel
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Maurice Malone.
Yeah.
So I'd go to the Rhythm Kitchen, which is the spot where people hang out to hear this hip hop music that they weren't hearing on the radio.
yeah.
Really underground.
Oh, okay.
Mostly dudes, of course. because
Right.
Yeah.
That's just the way the music
are
is
they listening
entailed.
to Little Brother?
No.
Now they are.
Now
That
they
was
are.
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The years
We
ago.
talking in early 90s.
Underground
Nice.
Kings, literally like.
No, it was mostly
Really?
East
It's-
Coast shit.
Yeah, it's East Coast.
East Coast
Straight
shit.
up. Straight up.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd go with them. I actually think I put them on to it. But anyway, so we'd go and they wound up establishing a relationship. So they wound up spinning there after a while. And they'd bring me on to do sets when I was in town or when I'd come back for vacations or, summer break. And I became a part of the scene that way. And then when I actually was in front of the Rhythm Kitchen one day, I'm sitting in the car with DJ Rowe, DJ Sabotage, Proof from D12. D12 wasn't a thing yet. And Proof popped in this cassette and he's playing these beats. And it's all instrumental shit. And I'm like, this shit is dope as hell. It shit sound like some Pete Rock, but different.
I get, yeah.
And it's Dilla or Jay Dee at the time.
Okay.
And so, you know, that fucked me up because I'm like, damn, we got a cat here that's making beats that's as dope
So
as shit that's on the radio.
He tells you that this is a local dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's Proof's boy.
Okay.
Yeah, they're real cool, and they had actually formed, you know, a lot of separate groups and shit back then. It was Five Ella, oh shit, I can't think. Funky Cowboys. Then there was Slum Village.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where most people have
Yeah.
got introduced to Jay Dee or Dilla.
Yeah. So my introduction through the hearing it was actually sitting in front of the Rhythm Kitchen in the car with those dudes that night.
Okay.
I can't remember the first time that I met Jay Dee, but you know, I expressed that, you know, I really liked his music. I liked his sound, liked what he was doing. And I'm pretty sure I gave him a mixtape because I was making mixtapes and I was selling them when I was at school up at
Yeah.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
And they were carrying them at the hip hop shop in Detroit.
Okay.
So yeah, so my shit was there alongside the DJ Clues and the Tony Touch and all this other stuff, everybody else that was out at the time. And that kind of built me up a little bit back in the city.
Okay.
And so
I,
at some point,
I'm sitting with a legend, and I didn't know it. that's what he's trying to.
He
tell
won't
me.
open up his mouth, and we all underplay
Yeah, we
the
do.
stuff that we experienced and went through that is just really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after the time passes, you realize, damn, that was some legendary shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
but you know what? I knew it at the time though.
You did?
You knew you were legendary at the time.
Not not me. I knew I was experiencing some
No, I
one of a
understand.
kind
I'm
legendary
just
shit
goofing with you.
Yeah.
because I was there when Eminem was murdering people on the freestyle scene.
Okay.
I was there the first time he appeared in the hip hop shop.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was there for a lot of history.
You know, Tone, I get defensive when people talk shit about Eminem,
Me too.
or they underrate him,
Me too.
or they say he's not one of the top whatever,
Same.
because we were there, experienced it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the scene in the 8 Mile movie, it wasn't a scene. He was really fucking people up for real
So
in black culture.
does it not do it justice?
Period.
Is that what you're saying? Does it not do it justice in the 8 Mile? I've seen 8 Mile once. So do I need to go back and view it again with the
If-
idea that
Like I always
You
tell
guys were
people,
there at
if
that
you
time.
want to know what my life was like back then, you can watch that movie.
Yeah.
I've spoken to DJ Head, and he says he's never seen this motherfucking movie. And he's Eminem's tour DJ. It was
Is
his
he-
first tour
is he
DJ.
is he
Yeah.
doing himself an injustice by not seeing the movie?
No,
Is-
because
is-
he lived it.
That's what I was going to say. Does he feel like I don't have to?
That's how
watch
he
it
feels.
because I lived. it?
Yes, that's
Okay.
how he feels.
All right.
That
Fair
was
enough.
it was a very accurate depiction of the scene. Like some of the names were changed of the spots.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some of the names of the people involved were changed.
It's very much like, honestly, for a guy that's I'm not a big hip hop dude. I'm more of a just outside of hip hop music dude.
Hmm.
But when I listen to interviews about like Purple Rain, which I'm not crazy about, I think Under the Cherry Moon is a better movie. But
No, you're
Just-
crazy.
no. But for different reasons. It's not. Neither one of those are Academy Award winners. But
That's true.
people that are like when you hear Jimmy Jam talk about
Anything.
being
I love
in the
Jimmy
time, Jimmy Jam, like he lets out all the tea. Like he's going to listen, the leaves, where we got the leaves from, how long we brewed it, how long we steeped it. Jimmy Jam's going to run it down for you. When you listen to his interviews, you're like, it doesn't do it justice. When you think about like how Purple Rain, or even in your case, you go 8 Mile, you're like, no man, like that's a microcosm of how Detroit hip hop was running at the time.
I don't really feel that way.
It was real.
I
It was
feel
accurate. It was
I feel it represents, fairly well.
It's actually
Especially coming from Eminem's perspective, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not mine, of course,
Let me tell you
because
what's-
we're different people, but yeah.
Sure.
We're so
I didn't even
connected.
get to the story yet,
I'm
though.
gonna shut up. I'm gonna get you back. But just
Yeah,
real quick
I'm
pause.
gonna let Tone speak.
Real quick pause.
No, you're not.
We still on Eminem.
I am.
We still on 8 Mile. But since we talking about 8 Mile, I got to get this in. The part of 8 Mile that resonated with me was not just the club scene where he's battling or whatever. 'Cause
Oh, shit.
That's St. Andrews Hall.
I gotta
right?
tell you something about that too.
Yeah, that's
Keep
St.
going.
Andrews Hall, where we go to. But when Eminem went to work at the plant, they filmed that scene, I believe, at Jefferson Assembly Plant. It's an assembly plant or stamping. You see the machines coming down in the plant. My dad was the plant manager. So outside that, we're talking about my dad was an executive at Chrysler, and he was a Chrysler boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's in that plant. My dad has run Detroit plants, right? So as I'm looking at the 8 Mile movie, it's about hip hop, but I'm looking at the fact that they at the plant. So when it's the room, when he did the lyric of "You've been so long here, you're in the plant" or something like that, Eminem did this battle scene or freestyle or whatever, or was it a female rapper? Love her,
Miss Corona.
Oh, Miss Corona. I'm looking at the scenery, the backdrop. I'm like, that's the real plant. I fucking work there. My dad managed there. This is not a hypothetical thing. It wasn't a microcosm. It's the real shit. So when I saw Eminem, I'm like, the movie 8 Mile, I'm like, damn. I'm seeing my boy DJ Head play the tunes in the battle scene, and I'm like, I remember Head's hands. That's just how he touches records. Oh, that he's touches records.
That's
Man,
funny. That's some real DJ shit
it's
because
real.
we know how he scratches the records because we were around him.
So back to you. I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Me too.
It's just blowing me how
speak.
that movie meant so much. But I'm back to your ties, your story as it pertains to Dilla, Emma, whatever. Go ahead. Let me let you get the mic back.
So about the Dilla thing, I would see him I'd see him around events and shit like that because, we were all into the same type of music or whatever. So we wind up at the same type of clubs. I was at some event one night. I think it was at the Kronk. They had a gym, the Kronk gym, but they had also like some kind of club area around it or some shit. And I was out in the parking lot. He pulls up with Frank and Dank in the car playing one of my mixtapes.
Wow, that's crazy. That's some.
You
crazy
can't take
shit.
that shit from me.
right. You go to your grave.
You
with like,
cannot. You cannot.
Yo,
And,
Dilla was playing my shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I believe it was at that point where I talked to him. I was like, yeah, I'd like for you to make something for me someday, or we can work together or whatever I said. I don't recall. But, I never set any plans in motion or anything like that. And I bumped into him one day at the hip hop shop. They used to do open mics every Saturday. And he handed me a cassette. And I was like, okay, bet. Some of you might have seen this on YouTube or whatever. He gave me a cassette and it had like 5 or 6 remixes on it that hadn't been out yet. A couple freestyles that have never been released. And most importantly, he had made me a song to put. Well, he gave me the whole thing with the expectations that I could put it on the mixtape if I wanted to. But the first song on the tape, he actually said my name in that shit. And to this day, that is the only record I have
That
out
has
of
your name.
all the rappers I know. I'm talking to you and you and you and you and you. The only person that's ever put my name in a record, and it was an unofficial record, but it's Jay fucking Dee.
Yeah.
If you know me, you know that I'm not overly friendly to people that I don't really know like that.
Yeah.
So
you
I
weren't-
was
you
cool.
weren't very friendly to me. It's okay.
Word?
No, you weren't. It's
Oh
okay.
man.
No. Listen. I don't take offense to that whatsoever because Detroit cats are a little bit different than Chicago cats. Even though we're both from the Midwest, y'all are a little bit more trepidatious.
You kind of got to be guarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Coming
bit more
from where we
guarded
come
about it.
from.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like
and the thing is,
a street cat or anything like
no,
that. I'm
and
very
not
suburban.
Either. I'm not either. And I'm. It's damn near impossible.
You just gotta be
to
careful
offend
of
me.
your surroundings.
Yes,
people.
It is damn near
Yeah.
impossible to offend me. So I'm like, I get it, but the link between the two of us is Steve. So I think we both felt like, okay, if Steve vouches for this dude, we both were like, okay, he must be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and when I put my guys together, you know, my Chicago friends and my Detroit friends, you almost have to vouch for someone because we're too old to take time to find out. So I'm just like, hey, look,
Right.
Tone, this
That's a
motherfucker
fact.
Doug cool, dog. But what he all about? Just trust me, man. He's straight.
Right. Oh,
But,
so back to the 8 Mile thing though. Years after this, I'm doing this spot called Lush, which doesn't get talked about a lot in
Ooh,
Detroit
Lush Lounge.
hip hop music history.
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
talking to you and you and you and you. I'm really like an integral part of the hip hop scene becoming what it was, and my name rarely gets mentioned. And you know, I'm not one to talk a lot. I'm really about that work. So I don't even like to speak that much on the mic when I'm spinning. So that's just my personality.
I will say this, and this is why I always
I didn't tell the story yet.
go ahead. All right, we pause.
So
Yep.
8 Mile, a lot of the extras in that movie came from Lush Lounge, which was the spot that I spun at.
Okay.
The bouncer at Lush Lounge is the first person you see in the movie 8 Mile playing a bouncer.
Word. He had a black shirt.
Probably.
that was a good guess.
Tight ass
Oh,
black
that was
shirt.
good. That was good.
Miss Corona used to be at Lush every week. Marv One, also in the movie, every week.
I am not an insider by any stretch of the imagination. I stay outside as much as possible. In fact, this is fantastic.
Okay.
No. Seriously.
That's
like,
why
this
we
is
doing
great.
a podcast,
This is
so
great.
to share stories like
Yes,
because there's
sir.
so much stuff that we've experienced that we absorb, but we never in today's world you're supposed to stream it, podcast it, say it,
Right.
interview
Every
it
5 minutes.
every 5 minutes, and,
Yeah.
and we haven't done that over
No.
a course of a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I sit back and think like somebody. I tell people when they call me a legend, I'm like, I'm not a legend. I never say, yeah, I'm a legend, right? So I had these little young kids watching me DJ. Oh, you're a legend from Detroit. I say, I'm not a legend. If I were a legend, I'd be rich from DJing. I'd be, like
Right.
whatever. Like
Right.
I'm not. I don't have a hit record. I'm not
Right.
in demand. I'm not.
Right.
But for a lot of cats that saw me, they perceive me that way, right? And so I'm like, dang. I'm flattered. Like you call me a legend.
Yeah.
So in their world, in their mind, sitting from where they were sitting, they thought you were cool or untouchable or really made a really great contribution. And so I was with Tone during his formative years at Michigan State as he's becoming the DJ that he is. And I wasn't sitting next to Tone like, man, you a legend, dude. And like, oh, you too, Steve. Like we wasn't sitting around. We're legends,
nobody does
right?
this.
We
Nobody
weren't
does
doing
this.
that. It was just
When you're with your contemporaries, you don't do that. Like when I just a little bit ago, when I said about
About
Dilla.
shoes.
No, about shoes, about Dilla, because you were like, I didn't view Dilla. You view Dilla as a contemporary.
Person. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though, I thought he was that good to be a legend. No. The way I like to tell is like I didn't expect him to do what he did for me. He did it because he respected what I did.
Correct.
And so
Yes.
he's a fan of me.
Tone, I gotta say this to you. We talk like this and on the phone and stuff like that. But I went from kind of like popular hero worship to realizing that I had heroes who were my own friends, who were my own contemporaries that were just as damn dope and actually doper, right?
Yeah, most cases
So,
doper.
The cats that I saw, I can name a few off the head that I knew were special in their certain lanes. I knew Sabotage was special. I knew you were special. I heard my man DJ Dangerous, and I thought he was God. I was like, if God is spinning house music on a mixtape, this is what he sounds like. When I stopped, what I wanted was the respect or adoration of the people I thought were dope, right? It almost like I wanted certain people's approval. I didn't go telling them this, but I did.
Right.
I wanted Alan Esther's approval because back in my day, and he's a very popular Detroit foundational DJ. Al Esther back in his day was a king. And so I wanted him to think I was sweet. I wanted his respect.
Before we continue, sweet in Detroit terms is a positive
that's
thing.
right. Yeah, sweet as hell on the tables, right?
Yeah. The first time I heard somebody say sweet in a negative way on the record, I was like, what the fuck they mean?
I wanted Terrence Parker's approval because we came up spent a lot of years together.
Southfield High.
Battling together. I wanted him to know that I was good. A lot of cats I wanted to hear me, and I don't think they ever heard me. They were too big or would never have heard of me. I secretly wanted them to know that I was good, because my ultimate heroes I was never going to meet. That was Michael Jackson. That was, big superstars, right? Mm-hmm. But the local heroes I'm going to be able to meet. So there was a crop of DJs where I was like, okay, if I don't get all the gigs, if I don't blow up or whatever, as long as he know I'm the shit, as long as he know I'm a bad motherfucker, as long as he think I'm cool. So when I got certain approvals, so when I spun my first gig with Al Esther, he didn't know I was nervous as shit. I didn't want to mess up because he was Al Esther.
Mm-hmm. Still is.
He corrected me because at the time I was playing my classics too fast. Because in Detroit we speed everything up.
Oh yes, yeah, man. Y'all play outlandishly fast.
So I played
relative to Chicago.
Yep. So I was playing too fast.
Relative to the world.
I was playing Gwen Guthrie, Should Have Been You. And he came up to me. It was too fast, whatever it was, because Al pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, Steve, you need to slow that down. You don't want to play your classics too fast. Just a little bit past the green light, but not too fast." Now, my ego was offended because I was like, motherfucker, you can get some too. But it was Al Esther, and I had to respect it. You know what I mean? Because he was one of my heroes.
Right.
He was correcting a young buck, you know what I mean? Right. And he called me. He said, man, he said, Steve, you're one of my best students, and I got to tell you to slow these classics down.
That's dope.
And man. I said, man,
he was Yoda. He Yoda'd you.
He Yoda'd me, and I was like, my ego wanted to be like, man, I ain't your student, motherfucker. I'm trying to fuck you up tonight. But I was a student, you know what I mean? Because when I was a little puppy, couldn't spin, a circle. He was Al Esther. He was a legend. You know what I mean? Already, so. I got the pat on the back. I corrected myself, and then I knew he knew I had talent because he told me he thought I was good. He rocked with me. Like when certain cats, they mess with you. Yeah. I was like, Al Esther, like he fuck with me. Dilla fuck with me. He wrote him and I was playing my mixtape.
If he didn't think you were dope, he wouldn't have never told you. He just would have let you. He would let you clown yourself basically.
Tone had flattered me one time, and I wasn't expecting this comment. He said, "You one of my favorite DJs." And
that's like, a fact. Still,
you don't get that amongst your boys. We boys. I ain't like your favorite DJ is a guy that's off, and we're gonna name a big name. But when you can name some of your favorite DJs, and they're not on Billboard top, whatever. Don't tell me if I say, who's your favorite house producer? Obviously, great. Louis Vega's a great house producer. But tell me something I don't know, motherfucker. Give me something off guard. Don't tell me Louis Vega. Of course, Louis Vega's incredible. Anybody, we know this. That's established. You got something else for me? So amongst the peer group, I realized that, I have a connection with you that was really important with the whole hip hop shop history, rhythm kitchen history. Little Dilla splurge right in there, Sabotage Row, House Shoes, right? And I'm thinking, Steve, you connected to these dudes. You know what I mean? So I look at all the people that view House Shoes as a legend. Few people that think and have seen Tone. With Tone, you're this. And you got to mention in the book. I'm thinking, I don't have to go out and get all this adoration for myself. I can get it through my guys, right? Because if you like Al Esther Al Esther said he liked me. I don't need you,
Yeah.
right? If you like Tone, I'm one of Tone's favorite DJs. I had
It's
a
the algorithm.
I got a,
Right,
it's an
right.
algorithm. I got on a
If you
Facebook.
like this, you like that.
Right.
I had a Facebook post. I got into it with this younger DJ, and he started dissing me, saying, "You don't know this and you don't know that. You think you're all that." And I was trying to be humble, but I was really trying to check this dude. And so he cited this DJ that he thought was the shit. And he said, "Man, you don't know nothing, man. Like, you don't know." And he cited Tom Linder, right? So Tom Linder is one of my boys. He's one of my students, I would say. Tom Linder cites his favorite DJs and the DJs that influenced him the most as Gary Chandler and Steve Crawford.
Wow.
I heard it in an interview. He was like, "These are the baddest DJs, is Gary Chandler and Steve Crawford." Like, so when the dude dissed me with, see, a real DJ is Tom Linder, I had to laugh. I had to fall back. I said,
Right.
I
He
said,
don't
wow.
know. He don't know.
Your idol used to watch me spin when he couldn't blend shit, right? So, so he didn't know that we're a family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Tom, I watched Terrence. Tom watched me and Terrence. Tom got inspired seeing me spin. Tom got a legion of fans because he blew up, you know, with Detroit Techno Militia and the whole 9 yards. And this young kid doesn't know I'm your grandfather. The maturity in me, I finally got mature. I said, you know what? I'm not going to even
Let 'em
say
have
anything. Let me just let them have it. When you realize you don't have anything to prove, and Tone, you taught me that, or reinforced it, that whole you have nothing to prove, because I came out here with an attitude, I'm going to crush everybody. Like we've talked about this all the time. And it's like, no, you're not going to crush everybody. Everybody's doing their thing.
I told
But-
somebody last night, I don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
Not
Nothing to
any
prove.
longer. I know what I did.
Right.
People who were there know what I did.
Right.
A lot of them don't say it, but they know what I did. I know my spot in history as far as Detroit hip hop, and I'm cool with it. But my thing is, I'm still here spinning records right fucking now. Come see me now.
I see you
I'm
Friday night.
even better than I was
I
back
see you
then.
Friday night,
Right.
right?
Tone, what are you playing now? Because
I'm playing everything, anything I want to play.
so we shouldn't consider you a hip hop DJ.
I don't feel like a hip hop DJ anymore.
Okay.
No.
Would you at one point is that how you categorize yourself?
Oh, for
so to
sure.
speak?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
You had to,
Hell yeah.
especially in Detroit. It's like either you were a pop DJ like you were describing earlier,
Uh-huh.
or you were a house DJ,
Yeah.
Okay.
or you were a hip hop DJ.
Yeah.
I got you.
And
You would be
I was a hip-hop
rejected trying to even cross over.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, you
I
still
couldn't
can't.
go in the hip hop world and be. I could do the sweetest hip hop set on the planet, but I'm identified with
As a
house
house DJ,
music.
yep.
Period. I'm in the house world,
Really?
and a DJ that's a hip hop DJ, right? Don Q could not come into the house scene and play. He wouldn't be invited into the house scene.
Even though
What
that
happened?
cat might have like been
Talent has
Oh,
nothing to
yeah.
do with it.
Talent has nothing to do with it.
skill, nothing.
Yeah,
It's
nothing to
all
do with
about how you're labeled.
Yeah, it's a label, man,
Yeah.
and that's why and that's why I would say that we talk about our pop residencies. They were the best thing that could have ever happened to me,
Me too.
because when I went to play that top 40 club,
I fought that shit for so long too.
and
what did you wait hold on what did you fight? What did you fight? What do you mean?
Being a pop DJ.
yeah,
Oh okay.
it was the most enjoyable residency I've ever had. It was a one time I actually was paid properly to DJ. Not having I'm gonna come spin for nothing. I'm gonna go spin for this. They actually compensated me. It was a full dance floor. We got to build the night. Tone, we both had this similar experience in Pontiac, Michigan. I had
Yep.
Tonic Nightclub, and Tone was at Clutch Cargo.
Yeah. And,
And,
the funny thing about it for me is I was doing 2 residencies a week. I was doing Lush Lounge on Wednesday, playing the most underground hip hop shit ever.
You
Open mic.
You digging like every week.
Yeah. Yep.
Tone
and then
was so
on
underground.
Saturday, I'm driving up to Pontiac, half hour, 45 minutes, and playing pop shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was in the era where Puffy was big.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
playing.
So I blame Puffy for the
you should.
Oh man, I
You
hated
should.
Puffy so much
Yeah.
back in the day.
bro. We listen. That's a whole nother.
Yeah,
that's a
it
whole
really
nother.
is. I appreciate him though. I respect and appreciate him.
I don't want to take away from what he did for music. However,
Yes, you
I
do.
think that I do. Yes, there's no doubt about it. There's some things that he did that didn't quite.
Curl over.
No, they didn't. They took away from music. At the same time, he contributed to music
Right.
in a different manner. And so the tricky part for me is to not be that get off my lawn dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
About his contribution to music, because he did introduce a lot of young people to
Older music
older
via
music
samples.
via samples
Mhm.
that they didn't really realize were samples. I think
Yeah.
that was the problem. But even some of the cats that were recording music, like there's a famous story about Coolio not knowing that Gangsta's Paradise was based on Pastime Paradise. That is
Wow.
a sad commentary.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yes, he did not know that until he heard LV singing Gangsta's Paradise, and I was like,
He probably wanted to sue and thought somebody had taken his record.
huh?
I'm
He
just
probably what?
playing. I said he probably didn't know, and then he heard it was like somebody took my shit.
But like I was saying before I cut you off, the dichotomy of playing like the most underground shit on Wednesday,
Oh my God, that had to be.
and then playing like the anti that on
Are
Saturday.
you a Gemini?
No, I'm Aries. But
Yeah.
the funny thing about it is like this was before social media, so nobody knew from my Wednesday spot that I was
Facts.
on
Facts.
Saturday. I'm going up
Yes.
and I'm playing like the shit that I cannot play at an underground spot. I'm
And
playing.
vice versa, right? Like
Yeah.
the shit that you can play at your underground
Exactly.
spot, you're
No,
not going to
never.
play that pop shit, right?
No, I'm trying to make people move on Saturday.
Playing that pop night
Playing Mace.
made me a better DJ.
Yeah,
With the
me
shiny
too.
Suits,
It made me a
with
better
the shiny
DJ.
suits and the
Definitely.
and the Rolex.
Still love that song.
Yeah, it made me so much a better DJ because house music became not a challenge for me because I was good at it. It was
Four on the
second
floor.
nature, 4 on the floor. I mean, come on, a monkey, boots, boots, boots. I tell people all the time, it's not difficult. So I got that fully mastered. I love it. I still enjoy it. Like hell, I love house music. I come from disco roots. It comes easy to me. No problem. But then it was like, okay, you in this top 40 spot, and they heard me do a couple of sets, and they're like, we want to give you your own night. Because I guest DJ for Terrence
Okay.
on a Sunday night. It was called the Velvet Lounge. So I played a couple of house sets
I remember that.
at Terrence's night, and the owner said, man, you're really good. You know, you're really good too, because Terrence was killing his night. And the dude Marty, he was the owner of the club. He said, man, you're really good. He said, we're new owners. We're coming in and we've bought the whole spot, and we're changing. It's no longer going to be the Velvet Lounge. It's going to be a new club called Tonic, and we're going to open up the downstairs, and we just want a couple of DJs. He said, but if you're just playing house music, I can't have you. We're not going to have an all house night.
Oh wow.
Right. So in my mind, I'm like, dang, I'm about to leave. Then I thought about it. I said, I didn't play all house music at the parties in college.
You definitely did.
I played a quick little house music set, blow your house down, and I got to get out, you know. So I was like, I said, yeah. Right. I said, yeah. Right. Yeah, I can do it. And it was like, okay, you got a night. I was like,
This man is underselling what he did in college.
man.
He was playing everything. He was
playing
playing pop
everything.
shit in college.
You're right. I forget about it. So
I used to carry your crates. I haven't forgotten. My
That's
back
crazy.
hurt.
So went in there, and then I'm looking at the crowd that's coming in, and I'm used to playing black parties,
Mm-hmm.
right? Black parties at MSU. So I'm playing a wide variety of music, but it's still a black crowd. Now I got a predominantly white crowd coming in.
Wait. You
No.
got to play Journey?
No. Well,
Just a small town
well,
girl.
I did play at the peak of the night. Pour Some Sugar on Me will tear the house down.
Yo,
Tear the house down.
Actually, listen. I'm not upset about that.
That's a
'cause
drunk white folks
I
anthem.
love Pour
Anthem.
Some Sugar on Me. Actually,
So cool to be playing other music, and I'm just sharing now, I guess, with the audience. But I'm getting a white crowd, and white folks love black music. White folks love hip hop, so the hip hop is translating. The popular hip hop is translating. The top 10 hip hop tunes are translating. But they also want a little extra, right? So I'm running Christina Aguilera. I'm running some Britney Spears. I'm running.
Really?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. "Slave for You" was one of my big hits
That's a
out
jam.
there.
Who is that? I have no
I'm a
idea.
Britney
slave
Spears,
for you.
produced
Yeah.
by Neptune.
Justin Timberlake. But the great thing about hip hop is hip hop producers are producing pop.
Yeah.
So Timberland is producing for the
Justin.
Neptunes are producing for
Yeah.
the. So this is really cool because it's making me competent. I'm used to mixing, I guess, black producers, black party music. Now
That's racist.
they're pop,
Joking.
Right.
but their pop artists are hiring.
Because the second we play that,
Yeah.
we play one of them tunes behind this conversation, they're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that tune."
Man, it fed me because I was in law school during my tonic years, and that was my job. That was my gas money, that was my food money.
Right, the ramen noodles.
My
noodle money.
ramen noodles that was paid for by pop. House music didn't pay for that. Christina Aguilera,
Britney
that's
Spears.
Britney Spears. That's what paid
Neo.
for that. Neo, and then I kept all those tunes. I'm gonna do a tonic set one day. Y'all gonna laugh, just be laughing your ass off. Billie Jean gonna be in the set. Just all the tunes that diversified me from a DJing standpoint, where you couldn't play doots, doots, doots. Like you got different tempos. Now you got the beginning crowd. How do you set it off? How do you get to this point? How do you get to this point? And then the new records were coming out. When you're in a pop club, you got to be on the latest, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And this ain't no MP3. The CDJ is not out yet.
Right.
Right. It's not out.
Yep.
So you got to take
the
your
record
ass to
stores
the record
every
store
day.
and pull it off.
Yep.
Pulling the records, the hot records that are coming out, and you got to be up on it because you in the request zone.
You got to make sure that Usher is played.
Usher, can you play the new? Can you play the new? And you like, damn, I'm gonna get that this week. And you got to come back with it because I tell them I'm gonna have it next week for you. I'm gonna have it next week for you. And I literally be at the record store. I need the da da da. I need the so and so and the so and so. And it's like I was a better DJ when I was playing because I'm forced to.
I admire you guys. I do. Like even to this day, I tell people all the time. I admire wedding DJs.
Ooh, shit.
I admire them because they do stuff that I do not want to.
Mhm.
I played someone's birthday party, actually for their godmother, and I was like, "Oh, this is awful," because they wanted to hear a lot of the stuff that was really popular, and I'm not a pop, quote unquote, pop DJ.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to play what I want to play, and it. I don't knock DJs. I don't necessarily knock the music. I'm not a fan of the music,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily knock the music to the extent that I'm like, oh, it should never be played. I'm like, the folks that play that stuff, I admire y'all, cause like I can't do it. If I don't feel it
I'm
personally,
with you.
I was
I
playing
cannot
shit
play
that I
it.
despised. It was the first time in my career, DJ career that is,
Yeah.
that I was like laughing at shit on the radio and y'all whack for listening to that. And I'm putting it in the crates and running it. Because
Beyonce.
Absolutely, man.
And Destiny's Child
Dude,
and all
all in the crates.
We love
Come
Beyonce.
on.
Leave us
Beyonce.
alone, Beehive.
Right.
You not going to have Jagged Edge in
Right.
your crate?
Oh no! Wait. Who was
Come
it?
on, man.
Wyclef,
Next.
Wyclef, and
Yeah.
and Lauryn Hill and all them.
Man, Ghetto Superstar.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I used to run that. They loved it, dog. I like that song, but woo, that was a banger when I was spinning up at Lush
But then you
Line.
find
I mean,
that stuff that you didn't like. It's fun to
Chicago.
spin when they
To see
like
the
it,
reaction,
to see the
yeah,
reaction.
yeah.
Because I'm playing in tune. I went off into some like EDM ish type stuff, right? Because like I'm telling you, I got a white crowd, and they're not getting off into the house music, but they're getting off into Sandstorm. And
even know what that
I
is.
vowed I'm not gonna play that bullshit.
Bro,
That-
who was smack my bitch up? What was that?
Oh,
The Prodigy.
Yeah.
Smack my bitch. Those
Smack
type of
my
tunes.
bitch
Sandstorm Darude. It's by Darude Sandstorm.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's a major,
I know that
major
one.
hit.
Unbelievable with You're
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
You
that was sweet though. I like that one.
you play that shit for the
The
crowd. and
KLM,
you-
right?
But yeah, man, that's when you know you enjoy DJing, when you're getting off on shit because you're dropping it right and they like
Black
it.
Box.
Yeah, ooh, that's my shit right there.
CNC Music Factory.
You laughing, but that was classic
listen.
underground house shit when it came out.
Yes.
When CNC
Yes.
when CNC Music Factory first jumped off and the tune beginning of the tune sounded, everybody dance now, and we knew that was Martha Wash.
Yeah.
Yes, and she had to sue to get paid, and she got paid, but she did the same thing with Black Box. I was a freshman in college, and Southern Illinois University is a 6-hour drive, essentially from city limit of Chicago to city limit of Carbondale, which is where
6 hours.
6 hours. It's a 6-hour drive, dude.
Wow.
And me and my cousin in an Electra 225 leather seats.
A deuce.
No AC. No AC.
A deuce and a quarter.
Yes, no AC. Headed to Southern Illinois where it never fucking cools off until
Wow.
like November. Yo, we listen to Black Box
The whole way.
the whole way
Wow.
because he had a tape deck. So he bought Black Box. We listened to EPMD, Business as Usual, Around the Way Girl. Like, yo, all the way there. These are the tunes that my freshman year in college especially, I remember Black Box was like, oh shit, CNC.
Yeah.
So CNC Music Factory comes just a hair later. Once we actually get to campus, then we hear CNC Music Factory essentially. But like that's Martha Wash on Black Box, on Black Box too. But they had Velma, I think her name was
Yeah,
Velma. Something.
yeah, the pretty girl.
That was was like running the modeling, the visual part of it.
Yeah.
That was so interesting because you're right. That was like house.
It is
For like
house.
that was like mainstream
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great.
I used to be so happy when a
that was
house.
that was an era.
I wanted to play house so bad that when the like corny pop house came or the hits came that were house music, I was so happy because I knew I could sneak other shit in around it. So like
Yeah.
when Finally came,
Oh yeah.
you know, Show
Shout
Me
out
Love.
to CC Peniston, who is an Arizona native.
Yep,
Yep.
Gypsy Woman. When finally
Oh.
Gypsy Woman and Show Me Love came out,
Oh, Show Me Love.
which
Yeah,
were
Robin S.
bona fide radio hits.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, we done made it to the radio. I'm
Yep.
fucking y'all up now. Because if y'all like that, watch what I surround it with."
The algorithm. If you like this, you will like that.
Did either one of
Yep.
you cats play Nunu?
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you crazy?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Dang, you pulled out Nunu.
Nunu.
Liddell Thompson.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was some. These are the tunes that hip hop DJs had in their crates, and they thought they could
Right.
do house. Hip
Guilty.
hop DJs got
Guilty.
5 house records.
Right,
Guilty.
like right after Candyman. Right after Candyman.
Yep, that too.
And DJ
man.
Quick
Candyman.
tonight.
Never
Yep.
Candyman.
Yep. And we're in house DJs. We guilty too, because like we think we in the hip hop world because we playing some old popular hip hop shit too.
Right.
The
Hip
hip hop
hop parade.
DJs, hip hop parade, and the Humpty dance.
Right, with the house mix on it.
No.
Damn. Yeah, but man, fellas, it's been real. I think we had a great show. If y'all don't think so, we do. We doing this for us.
Listen, Tone. First of all, listen. Before we leave, Tone is a legend.
Tone is a legend, man.
Legend. He won't admit to that, but Tone is a legend.
Yep.
Big ups to Tone.
You got some roots, man.
Yes, sir.
Here go your flowers,
In Detroit
man.
hip hop.
Thanks. You can find me on the block, cracked out,
Okay.
a bottle in my hand.
False.
You can find me on this podcast. You can find me on my YouTube channel, which will be DJ Steve Crawford. I'm doing a lot of video recording. You can also find me on Instagram, But
Right.
I'm focusing I'm Steve Crawford ESQ. Steve Crawford ESQ on Instagram. So I'm just doing all filming now. And once I get out there live, I'll let you know.
You can find me at DJ Peanut 15, DJ PNUT 15 on Twitch. Mondays, Wednesday, Thursday, depending on your time zone, and Sunday afternoons, as well as Instagram DJ Peanut 15.
My name is DJ Tony Tone. Online, I go by Mr. Monotone, MistaMonotone. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of damn Tony Tones in the world.
There's a lot of peanuts out there
And
too.
I did not know that when I first took the name.
No
So
doubt.
respect to Tony Tone from the Cold Crush Brothers. My bad. But all platforms, Mr. Monotone.
Even though we all 51, we all probably going to have TikTok real soon, too, because you can't reach the young folks without TikTok.
Right.
So I'm going to be TikToking y'all and do some TikTok videos.
I know. Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same thing.
Yep.